Hi, and welcome to Brush Tips with Cheri. Today we are going to be painting a super pretty painting. Who doesn't love hot air balloons? So we have an amazing sunset here in the background and then some hot air balloons scattered throughout, different sizes to give you a little bit of a depth perception there. And then also this nice little ground here. So we have lots of fun colors to play with here. And I will show you which colors we're using. Here's our fancy paint palette. Nothing but the best for us here, right? So we have yellow, orange, red, and I use a bright red, white, black, phthalo blue, and purple. Now this is a pretty quick and easy painting, but we are going to use these three brushes. First, our Big Daddy, right? Because we love him. We love when he gets the job done. We use him all over. Then we have this smaller square brush. And we have this little fine pointed brush. And we might not use this little guy right here, but we might. We like to have it just in case, right? All right, so let's get started. First and foremost, we always start with the yellows. I stress this a lot because it's super important. Whenever you do any kind of background that has a yellow in it, you want to add the yellow first, because if you try to bring the yellow on top of dark colors, it does not work, okay? So I want you to pick where you want the yellow, and I'm going to do some over here to the left, and I'm going to go over here. This will be about where my sun is. There we go. Now, of course, we would, in an ideal world, we would love for this to dry a little bit. We could let it dry a few seconds. I could bring in a little yellow over here just for some shading. Wherever you think you might add some, you might just want a little yellow glow through. That's where you can go ahead and add some yellow. Now we can bring yellow back on top of yellow and it's going to make it pop, which is what we'll do at the end. But for right now, just add a small amount of yellow all over, wherever you want it. Our next color is this chrome colored orange. I like the bright chrome oranges. There's a variety of different colors of oranges, but I like the bright one. And there's actually a lot of orange in this painting. So just start feathering it in wherever you would like it. I want some blue and pink up here, so I'm not going to add a lot of orange there, but I am going to bring just a little bit of orange here, like I'm cleaning my brush off into the yellow. And I'm going to bring some orange in here. Now, if you are from Wadsworth area, then you know about this hot air balloon festival that they do. Balloons over Wadsworth. It's super fun. We went last year, so I figured, what the heck, let's make a painting about it, right? We might even be there doing some paintings. Fingers crossed, right? And just keep feathering it in. You notice I haven't added more paint to my brush because I don't need there to be a lot of yellow or a lot of orange on this. I can always bring it back in later, just using whatever is on my brush to clean off onto the canvas. Don't forget about your sides. I always forget about my sides. Always. But it's okay. It still looks good, even if you forget about your sides. Nothing a little frame can't cover up, right? All right, so the next color I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna actually rinse my brush off. I like to rinse off after orange because I feel like it can get things really muddy quickly. So I like to rinse it off and just get it nice and cleaned off. Our next color I'm gonna do is pink. And I just take some red and some white. And as you can see, I just pull it to the side here and mix it together. And then just add it in. It's funny because at my studio I always use paper plates, but I forgot a paper plate today, and I hate the feel of styrofoam. So I'm like trying really hard in my head not to think about it. It's such a weird feeling, isn't it? It reminds me of like those styrofoam coolers back in like the 80s that everyone loved to use. So I don't know, it's just weird to me. So I said, I gotta bring plates here and leave them so that I don't forget. It's funny though. I mean, I can't be picky, right? All right, see how I'm kind of blending all this in, kind of making that orange and pink blend together. Don't forget about your sides, because I always do. Look, I even forgot about my side. You see that yellow right there? How I forgot that spot? Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Here, we'll cover it with pink. Nobody will know, right? Maybe they will. And just real lightly, just moving some of the paint around with my brush. You can even wet your brush and just use a wet brush and kind of blend some stuff together, some paint together, some stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Let's add some red. Whoa, check that out. Look at how cool that looks. It's fun to play with sunsets, because it's like artwork in the sky, you know? You could do whatever you want with it. I bet. I knew it. I knew I didn't do that side. I bet I didn't do that side. I sure didn't. Let's throw some on here and see what happens, right? Just make it look fancy, that's all. Nobody has to know that I forgot. I forgot them all the way down to here, too. Man, I am just not on it today with those sides, am I? I'm gonna add some really, really pretty purple in here also. I'm gonna let this dry for a second, though. Now the purple you can add into the red, it's just gonna make like a darker purple. But I get so nervous with any hint of orange. Even if you're using a fire red, because it does have an orange base, it will turn your orange muddy. So you have to be real careful around purples and oranges. It'll ruin your canvas. It'll ruin your day, really. Purple and orange mixed together. It's kind of like vinegar. No, oil and vinegar, right? No, it's just a mess. Oil and water. There we go. Perfect. Well, I have a drip. It's all right. Let's just go back in and fix that. Just like that. Look at it. We'll just add some more yellow over it. Make it all pop. Ooh. Oh yeah, let's add some yellow on top of the pink. That's pretty. See, look, now we're doing a whole different thing. No rules in art. It's all whatever you see and whatever you want to do, right? It's super fun. Perfect. Let's brighten this guy back up. Oh my gosh, I love it. This was a fun painting. I absolutely love hot air balloons. Where we live, there is hot air balloon, like they take off around us. I don't know what they call those, like not a landing pad, maybe a launch pad. And so they come and they're always flying up over our house, sometimes landing in the field across the street from us, which is cool. I think that's happened once. Yeah, I love hot air balloons. They're probably one of my favorite things. Sometimes we would chase them too, the kids and I. We would chase them and see where they were going. Of course, you can't really keep up with them. It's so weird. So when I go to the Hot Air Balloon Festival, which is August 3rd, by the way, it is probably one of my favorite things to do. I have a lot of favorite things, actually, now that I think about it. All right, let it dry. Let it dry. So I have to keep reminding you all, I'm not good at singing, but I'm really good at painting. All right, this is looking pretty fancy. So I'm gonna sneak some white in there just to kind of highlight some of the yellow now that it's getting dry. Can sneak a little white in. So if you're painting along with us today, be sure to message us with your results, because we love to see the end product and we love to post them on Facebook. We love when people give us their paintings that we've painted along here. So just gonna add some of this yellow, like almost like a haze over the yellow. Listen to how dry my brush is on this canvas. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I sure can. This is looking pretty fab. Add a little bit more yellow. See how it gives it a different colored yellow? We like that. So if you really, really want to get fancy here, you could do the sun. I almost said the moon. It is not a moon, it is a sun. Do the sun the way that I do. Oh, actually, let's add the blue in first. You know what? We'll do the sun in a minute, because I want to add a little bit of blue in and purple. Let's do the bottom part. So the bottom down here is where like the land is. So what I like to do is I like to take the red and I like to take the purple and mix it with black. See that right there? And then what I like to do is just add it down here. It doesn't have to be a straight line. It can be whatever kind of bumpy road you want there. Usually at the launch pads it's pretty straight line because it's pretty flat land. I don't think that they could take off like in a mountain. I don't know though. I'm not a hot air balloon pilot. Is that what you call them, pilots? Okay, here we go. Perfect. Make sure you hit your sides. I like to mix the purple and the red in with the ground just because I really like it to look like the ground is glowing. You know how some of those summer nights the ground actually looks like it's glowing from the sky? That's why I don't like to do straight black. I like to add the colors in. So that way it really, oh my goodness, why didn't you all tell me about that? Look at that spot right there. Man, I am just not on it with my sides today, am I? It's always something. You know we get no takes here. Here we go. We'll just touch that up like that, all right? Uh-oh, don't mess it up there. Okay. So then what I like to do is I just like to rinse off my brush a little bit with the water. You can even add just a tiny little speck on here. And I just like to run this across here and just make it like hazy a little bit. Make it look a little watered down. You know how like sometimes the horizon is a little hazy? Perfect. Perfect. I love it. All right, awesomeness. Oh, I love it. I love it. This painting was fun to do yesterday, like I said, because I really love hot air balloons. Okay, so I'm going to clean off my brush real good. It looks like my orange is really dry. The only thing that's wet is that little bit of yellow that I just added, but it's okay. Yellow and blue make green, where you're not going to make mud. Of course, you can let yours dry. let's add a little purple to our blue. You can let yours dry, go like let the dog out, grab a snack. If you have a vicious cat like me that likes to go outside, you can go let that out. I say he's cute and fluffy, but he's like Church from Pet Sematary. He is a little much. He's our gourmet cat who likes to bite me. See how I'm just adding that little bit of blue in there and purple? Just real light. Just to make it look like it's turning nighttime, right? I'm just cleaning off what's on my brush. I don't have a ton of paint on there at all. Leave room for your son or your daughter. I'm just kidding. Okay, that was a really corny joke. But again, I'm really good at art, and that's what matters in this situation. I'm sure my husband's over there like, seriously? You're so cheesy. This is how my brain works. Speaking of cheese, I really love Cheetos. Now I'm thinking about Cheetos. The brain of me. All right. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. How's this looking so far? Pretty fancy. All right, let's throw some blue in here. Go along the horizon here with some blue. Just to kind of break up. Now, if you love all the bright colors and you don't want to add the blue, please do not add the blue. You know, there is no rules here. I had somebody completely change up a whole painting when we were painting on the show one day, and she followed along and changed the whole thing, and hers turned out fabulous. And she used like bright neon paint. It was super cool. Her name is Courtney. She might be watching. I'm trying to get her to come on and paint. Yay! I'm going to clean off my brush, and I'm just going to use some water to push around that blue. Dry off your brush real good. And I'm just going to use some water to push around the blue. You see how then all these hard spots kind of go away? That's what I want to do. I want the hard spots to go away. See how quickly this is looking like mud right here? And my yellow or orange is not dry. It is dry, I mean. Blow on it a little bit. We do have the special little fan, but I figured I didn't need it today. It is here though. Our little fan that from last week. That was the best. So you can always bring in more colors if you want to. I think I'm going to leave it just the way that it is though. Actually, maybe I'll throw in some more yellow. Brighten this up a little. I love the yellow. I love the pink in there too. Uh-oh, I think I got some black in there. Let's add some. Look at how much darker this one is than that one. I just painted that one yesterday morning. But look at how much darker my eye is seeing it today. Crazy, huh? Every painting is different. It's just how you see it that day or at that moment. I could probably paint these one right after another and it'll be different each time. All right, so let's get fancy here. We're gonna pull out a special tool for the sun. Our finger. Ready? Now you can use your brush if you want to, but you don't have to. I take a little bit of white, then I bring it over to the yellow. I kind of mix them together on the side here. And then you know our rule about when we get a good circular motion. Thank you, my high school art teacher, for teaching me this. Get a good circular motion. Honestly, I just really like an excuse to finger paint, so you could totally do this with a brush, but I encourage you to do it with your finger. And voila, you have a sun. You can barely see it, and that's what we want. We just want it to be kind of like a haze in the background. You know, like when the sun's just going down, that's what we want. You can kind of outline it with some white. Just keep going. There you go. Perfect. Now if you really need to, you can go and wash your hands now. I'll wait. Just kidding. You can pause it or come back later. But I'm just going to rinse on my apron like I always do. That's why we're covered in paint. Okay. Our next step is we're going to use this medium guy here. Actually, I'm going to use the big guy for the balloons, for the big balloon. And I'm going to come back to that purple, blue, red mixture of black paint there. I want it to be darker black. And then we're just going to make a balloon. There we go. Perfect. Now we don't want to close it off at the bottom, but I do like to go in this downward motion so that way it looks like the balloon is being pulled down, because when you're looking at a hot air balloon, you can see the shapes of it. And that's what you want to do, go with that shape. And then you can make a purple, black over here. We can do this smaller one here. There we go. These are pretty simple to do. And again, just go in that rounded motion. There we go. And keep it kind of open on the bottom. We don't need to go, we want to kind of box it off here because, you know, that's where the opening of the hot air balloon is. So we want to kind of box it a little bit. I'm going to grab some red and black. Let's make another one like right here. It's hard to paint a half of a circle at an angle. Look at that guy. Oh my goodness. There we go. Now you can use a bigger brush for this one too, which is what I'll do here. Just goes by faster. Perfect. Oop, I'm pulling paint off. I would love to go for a ride in a hot air balloon. That's what I was trying to say. Then a little tiny baby one right here. That doesn't even look like a balloon. That was a good one, Cheri. Nice going. Here we go. Bring it down. Okay, now we need baskets. Cute little baskets, which is just a square. And then all I did was just kind of throw some paint on like that. If you can see it, then just a square. And then I just kind of throw some paint on here. It's just real faded. Paint a couple little lines through there to make it look like it's. Now obviously when you're head on, you could probably get these right underneath. I'm painting from an angle. Perfect. How are those looking? Great. And these are just our last minute finishing touches here is what we're doing. Just finishing these up. Let's see how that looks. How's this looking? Good? We can even take some red and on top of that black, just kind of add some highlights here, maybe some highlights here. You could take some of the yellow, add some little highlights into these balloons here. Make it look like there's designs on them. How's that looking? Pretty fancy, huh? I really love the purple. And obviously when your balloons are drier, then you can add some more detail. Mine aren't very dry right now. And just color it like this. And voila. And then of course, like every great artist, take your little tiny baby guy, grab a little paint right on the tip of it, then you can go ahead and just put your initials, and voila. Now you have a hot air balloon painting, just like that. Thank you all so much for watching. Please share your paintings with us so that we could post them on our Facebook page, and enjoy your day.